Welcome back, everybody. What's good? This is your boy Gabs on the mic. Today I will be doing video game design, and I will be going over Unit 2 video game design, JavaScripts, and graphics. Now, this might be similar to the AP Computer Science or the other one that I put out. I get it, but you know what? This is something that people will be looking for. So let's go ahead and yeah, let's do it. Oh, I don't want to do the teacher view. I want to do the student view. This will be my first time running through this course in particular. As you see, I've got nothing filled in. I'm just going to do the exercises. So let's go ahead and let's do them. What's important to me are the pencils. So we will be given something to do. And, okay, so we have to write that out. Cool, let's go ahead and let's go. This is what it's looking for. So what we need to do, function start. Okay, let's think. We got to output that print line. So really what we need to do is just copy and paste that over, right? Print ln, make sure we use our proper indentations, right? Control V, Control C, Control V, people, right? Make sure that you copy it properly, or right click. So it's supposed to say my name is, oh, why is it not typing? My name, and here's the thing about this. You have to type it exactly as it is here. So if I have like a capital N here, it's gonna tell me I'm wrong. So make sure that when you guys are doing this, that you're following all like the like the capitalizations, and if it says have 4 of these, then have 4 of it. All right, let's run the code. Let's see if it runs. Boom, my name is Michael. I like Smash Bros. Let's check the code. Code is a success. Submit and continue. Excellent job, ladies and gentlemen. Next up, let's see, let's go ahead and let's move on to Unit 2. I'm not going to watch the video. Unit 2 is apples and oranges. So we're at 2.2.4, apples and oranges. So what do we have to do here? Output, number of apples, number of oranges, number of apples, number of oranges. So this is going to be print lines here. We're probably going to have to set some variables in this one and then reset the number somewhere is what I'm guessing, because it says then set the number of oranges to 0 and print it all over again. So it says set it to 20 and 15, print it, then set it to 0 and then reprint it. So we're going to do a little bit of copying and pasting on this one. Let's get ourselves some space. So first thing that we have to do is declare, in this case, initialize 2 variables. All right, so variable apples. Want to do apples, or do we want to do number of apples, since that's what they have over here, right? So let's do that one first. And they said to do 20, and I'm just going to follow the same exact thing. Variable number of oranges, and that will be equal to 15. Okay, easy enough. All right, so far so good. Now, how did I know to do that? Because it said initialize 2 variables, and that's how you declare a variable. Something to note is that you must start off with a lowercase, and then if you're going to add like any more words to it, those words can be uppercase. You're not supposed to have an uppercase or like a numerical value or some kind of like ASCII value to start off your variable name. So it's kind of important to remember. So it always goes lowercase, and every word after that is just uppercase. And that's just the way it rolls, guys. So print ln. Print ln, by the way, prints it on a new line. So if you don't do ln, if you leave it blank, if it's just print, it'll print it on the same line. And I didn't learn that until later on, and I'm like, why am I why is this not working? And yeah, so I figured that one out later. That has to be in quotations, right? Don't forget that your print line has to have a quotation next to inside of it. I know it doesn't say it right here, but that's because it's printing a variable. I bet you if we go to the printing, it'll show you right here that it has to be in quotations, right? Don't forget to use the doc section, ladies and gentlemen. That's going to help us out in the future. Basics, graphics, control structures, just with ideas, and always refer to the assignment as well. It's just good to know that these things exist. Don't forget to put the semicolon at the end. It ends that particular line. I am not done here because I actually have to specify what it is that I am printing. But the quotations will end the string. The string is something I'm programming in there. I wanted to print this variable. So I have to add the plus sign, if I remember right, and put the variable that I am looking for. And if, let's say I go back and I change it, like number of apps, I can go back here and I can do number of apps if I had to do it, right? So that's something that you're going to want to remember in the future. So number of apples, make sure they match up. Cool, cool. Nice. Now remember, only quotations around strings. Number of, oh wow. Number of oranges. Make sure it matches, by the way, the text over here. So if that's lowercase, that has to be lowercase. And number of oranges. I don't like to type a lot. I like to copy and paste a lot. So I'm just going to use that to do that, man. And I know we're supposed to print it twice. But down here, I'm going to redo it. Because I know it's supposed to be printed twice. And it says, then set the number of oranges to 0. So I'm going to reset that right above it to 0. So I'm going to redo this variable. I'm going to overwrite it. So it gave it 15. It printed it here. And then I reset it here. And I bet you if I run this code, it should work perfectly. Let's check the code and bada bing, bada boom. We are good to go on that assignment. 2.2.4 is in the books. Let's go ahead and let's get on out of here. Move on to 2.3. Whatever. 3 only has this one, grocery store. This unit shouldn't take too long. We finish this probably another 10 minutes. Okay, prompt the user for their name, and set how many apples and then how many oranges they would like to buy, then print out the name that was given as well as apples and oranges. Here's an example. Hi, I'm Zach. You want 3 apples? Okay, so what we're going to be asking for is some kind of read function. And that, look, they even give it over to you here, right? Read a string, read an integer. Here's an example of how you do it, and here's a sample output. So let's just go ahead and give ourselves some space and let's do it, right? So it says prompt the user for your name. We're gonna do that's a string. A string would be like, you know, like words, things with like letters, you know, things with numbers would be variables. So read line, and the prompt is what is your name, I guess? It doesn't really give us a prompt. And for the sake of laziness, I'm not gonna type that all out. So there's that. Then it says how many apples and how many oranges. So here we go. Variable number. And that's apples. Let's keep that, you know, consistent throughout. Number of apples. And let's copy and paste that because I, once again, hate to type. And then number of OJs. Oranges. Okay, cool. So that should work. I don't see anything wrong with these. I got my semicolons. I got my proper quotation marks for my strings. And that should prompt them for apples and oranges. And then it should print one line. We're going to do this all together. So, hi. Plus, and then let's go ahead and... this is a string right here. So if we didn't change that, we would put str here, right? And it would give us this value. But let's make this value actually, or this name rather. Let's make it useful. So that's the name. So let's just say, hey, name here, right? Because that makes sense to us, especially when we're typing. Plus, they want a comma. You want, right? You want, and then a space. Let's see. Oh, we probably need a space here as well because otherwise there'd be no space. We're missing there. Hi, blank. And then we need a space here. Actually, we don't need a space there because the comma's right on the end of that name. Number of apples. That's just going to give us the number. Plus. Let's see. Apples. Space. Apples. And space, there we go, plus number of oranges, plus space, oranges. And the entire code will look like that. I believe that looks correct. Oh, it does not look correct. There's something wrong. It's not that. It is I forgot my semicolon. And that actually was highlighted to tell me there's something wrong. So that looks like the whole code to me. If you guys want, like let's say this is not appealing to you, you could always hit the equal button or the space bar and then like give yourself some spaces, right? And then like do something like that. That would work. That way you can see what you're typing with. And it's not going to change the code at all if we run the code. Okay, 5 and... Something looks weird here. 1, 2. Oh, name was 5. Number of apple. Hey, 5. Okay, so either way, that worked out well. So that is the code. Perfect. Cool. So let's go ahead and let's submit and continue that one. That worked out well. Hey, this is going pretty easy for us. All right, this one has 2 exercises. T-shirt shop. What does the T-shirt shop say for us? Write a program that asks how many T-shirts they would like to buy, then prints out the total cost. You should declare a constant at the top of your program called that. So we're going to copy that. Okay, so we're going to declare a constant, but it's technically a variable. It's an integer, right? So we're going to call it that and set it equal. All right, cool. So that says to declare the constant here, and that variable, and they said to call it cost of shirt, so copy, paste, equal to $15. And we don't have to incorporate the $sign because the dollar is not a numerical value, right? It's just a unit of measurement, and we just need the numbers only. All right, get rid of that. We don't need that. Pay attention to how they do comments, by the way. You know, using that double bracket there, and then if they want to do more multi-line comments, they do that right there, and then multi-line comments would be like boom, 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 you know, so to speak, and then they'd finish it off right there. So that's how you would do a multi-line comment, and then, so yeah, just pointing that out. Okay, let's see. Where do we start here? That asks the user how many T-shirts they would like to buy. I like to take it one at a time. Okay, so remember, when we do this, we have to declare a variable, and we're gonna call it something. So it says how many T-shirts. So variable T-shirts is what I'll call it. No big deal. And we have to prompt the user, so that's gonna be a read integer value, right? And it's gonna prompt them how many to buy. Good sir. Now guys, if I was you, I would not type in what I'm typing. I would make it like a how many do you want to buy, like make it formal, because if every one of y'all are turning the same thing and then like y'all have the same teacher, be like, yo, why do y'all have the same exact code? And not my fault. Let's see. You should declare, okay, so and then print out the total cost. So let's go ahead and let's put a line here for that. What's our going to be a total cost? So we're going to print line, right? And then that's going to be total cost. Total cost equals, and then we'll give ourselves a space, and then plus, let's do total cost. And let's actually put like a $sign in here. That way we know how much money we're working with. So I need a variable up here called total cost. I mean, this is where a little bit of math is going to work. So how do we get the total cost? So if every shirt costs $15, it's going to be the cost of the shirt times, let's give ourselves a little space there, times number of shirts, so T-shirts. If your code isn't working, make sure that you're spelling everything the way that you've spelt it previously. So if you forget an R, if you rearrange the R and the T here, make sure it all matches up. So it's not my error in my code. I get this a lot. Oh, yeah, it's not working. It's because you're probably spelling something wrong, or you forgot a semicolon. You know, it's going to take some troubleshooting with you guys too. You know, like it takes effort on your end, not just mine. Run the program. How many shirts? I'll buy 10 shirts, and that would be $150. Cool. That works out perfectly. Good. Easy. All right, a program that asks users how far they ran in miles, and then how long it took them in minutes, and print out their speed in miles per hour. This is, oh, I remember this one from the past. So what we got to do is we're going to have to convert this to minutes to hours. Okay, so first thing we want to do is how far did you run? So variable distance. What we're going to do is we're going to, I'm going to do this from a physics perspective. Distance over time. And then we're gonna do time in minutes and do time in hours. That way we know we have two different variables that we're working with here. So distance equals read int and make it simple. Miles ran. Cool. Variable time in minutes, right? And that's gonna be read int time ran in minutes. Close that off. Cool. Now there will be your speed that we have to define, or and that's going to be distance over time, but that time is in hours, and the reason we want to do that is because once again it says miles per hour here, so we're going to have to convert this time in minutes to time in hours, and it's going to be a function of the time in minutes. So how do you do that? Well, you take the time in minutes and you just divide it by 60, and bada bing bada boom, be good to go, right? And then what are we doing? We're printing out their speed. So is this a simple print line speed? Is that what it's asking for? Let's see. I ran 10 miles, and I did that in, oh god, 60 minutes. Should be 10 miles per hour. Cool. Yeah, perfect. Easy enough. That one involved a little bit of math, right? A little bit of physics for you. All right, we are moving. We might get a bell here soon, so wait a second. No. Oh, that was it. Oh, we're in 5. 5 only has 2 exercises. We might be able to get out of here before that bell rings. Uh-oh. Oh, yes. We're gonna have to divide these into thirds, color them blue, color it white, color it red, and God, we're gonna have to create rectangles. Okay, so we're working with objects on this one. We're creating a new, we're using the, so we're gonna create a new object. We're gonna call it example rectangle. And this rectangle is gonna use the rectangle function in the past, or that object in the past rather. And it's gonna have a width and a height, and we're gonna have to define that. Now, this is important. I remember this one. This one's important. Variable width equals new rectangle slash dot get width. Right, so there is a get width feature that gives you the width of your canvas. There's a height feature that gives you the height of the canvas as well, right? Oh, where'd my music go? Oh no, my headphone went out. Well, either way. Oh, there it is. It's back. Cool. And I don't remember if they said that anywhere. Get location of the rectangle. Yeah, they talked about it, but they never really did a great job in this one, if I remember. They might have in these right here, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I figured out the trick a while ago, and this is something else. So let's start from where I started. So the first thing that we have to do is we have to create a blue rectangle and a red rectangle, right? Which one was first? I don't remember run code. It was I believe it went blue, white, red. Okay, so it was blue, white, red. So let's go ahead and let's create our first blue rectangle, and we're gonna to make a rectangle first, right? So let's do that. It's a variable new. No, it's not. They have example rectangle. We're gonna do blue rectangle. We're gonna label this properly. That way we don't get confused. Let's just create it first, and that should be the easy part, right? New rectangle. Remember, this had already been predefined somewhere else, and we're just using what's already been made for us. Later on in the curriculum, you will make these yourself. And they have a width and they have a height. So let's give it a rectangle width, and let's give this a rectangle height. And the reason I want to do it this way is because I want them all to have the exact same width and height, and I don't want to have to like program that anywhere myself. Equals, and then variable. We'll figure out how to make that later on, but we know that we need a rectangle height and a rectangle width, and they have to be the same for all of them. So like my blue rectangle should have the same width and height as my red rectangle. And I'm just going to program that once up here and refer back to it later. Once we finally do make it rather. All right, cool. So now what we need to do is we need to set its color, right? Let's go ahead and let's set its color, but it's not new rectangle, it's blue rectangle, right? We're gonna set its color to the blue color. Cool, so we have its colors, now it's blue. We're good to go. Now let's set its location. Blue rectangle dot set position. Remember, these have been predefined somewhere else, and we want to start it off at 0, 0 because it's our first one. And think of a graph, it's at our origin, and this is our origin. So we've set it. Now we want to actually add it to the screen. We've made it. Now let's add it. So we're going to add blue rectangle. Cool. So if I've done nothing else, this is good. Problem is, and why is that highlighted? Why is that highlighted? I forgot a rect there. Rectangle. Did I spell something wrong? Right width, rect height. No. Oh, I know why. It's because I didn't define variable rectangle width and rectangle height. Right, so if I did this, and then if I did this, it would actually get rid of it. Haha, nice. There's the bell. Now, let's keep going. Let's define our heights now, right? That way we can get this line of code working, because we still don't have the width and the height of this rectangle yet. Now, if you see, look, it says we can do get width here. That is a feature, right? Now, this right here would get the width of a specified rectangle. So this line of code is say, get the width of this new rectangle that you made. Well, we have to actually program it for it. We're going to do the other way. We're going to give it a width. And all I'm going to say is get width of the screen. And since there's 3 rectangles inside of the screen, I want the width of each rectangle to be 1/3 of the screen. This way that 3 can fit in the entire screen, but I want them to all take up the entire height of the screen. So they're all gonna have the same height and they're all gonna have the same width, but they're each, if we go back to that, when we ran that code, we saw the flags. It was 1/3 blue, 1/3 white, and 1/3 red. This will give us that 1/3. This will give us, but they were all fully taking up the height of it. Cool. If we run that code, yeah, there's our blue. Look at that. Perfect, perfect. Okay, so what we can do now is, since we've done the hard work, let's just go ahead and change up some values, right? So let's change this to red. Change this. Oh, I'm sorry that we don't change that. Blue. So that's red. Red. Now here's the deal. If we change nothing else, what happened? Well, that overlaid it. Well, why is it overlaying it? Oh, well, obviously that's red. Well, now that should. But wait a second. So this was first, and this overlaid it. Why isn't it over here? Well, we never changed its position. This is where this took me a little bit to kind of figure out, right? So I want to keep its same Y position. It should still start at the same exact height, but it should be over here. So it should be at 2 rectangle widths away from the 0, right? So here's 1 rectangle width away, and I needed to start 2 rectangle widths away. And that's what this was so important for when I went back and I did it, because if I did this, it'll actually go right next to it, right? But if I do 2 of them, it'll go 2 widths away, and it'll give me some space in the middle. And my code should work perfectly, and we are good to go. Ladies and gentlemen, I remember I sat there for like 20 minutes trying to figure out this one. At least the first time I seen this. And I was like, man, how am I supposed to change this and that? And what I did was I actually gave these values my own values, right? So I set this to like 50, 100, and then I just changed it all together. But what this is doing is it's making it all relative to the screen itself by using get width and using get height. It's making it relative to whatever your screen is. And it doesn't really do a good job of explaining that in the assignment instructions or the video, right? Because like I was defining my own sizes when I did this one. But if you make it relative to the window, you'll always fill the window, regardless of the size of the window. You'll get the exact, you'll get the perfect, you'll get the sizes, the proportions you're looking for, and it will fill the entire window. And that's what they were looking for. Oh yeah, I remember this one. This one sucks because it's. Oh man, this one sucks. Yeah, they give you a whole bunch of things you got to program, and you got to start from the top down. Yeah, man, we're gonna have to create some circles. So what we should probably do is we should create our circles first, define them. Things like we'll just gotta make the circles first, and then we'll worry about positioning second. That was the way I did it. Oh, they actually gave us the radiuses. Thank God. So that works. So let's go ahead and let's make our circles first, right? To make a circle, we have to use that. Which one do we want to make first? Do we want to make the bottom? Do we want to make the top first? Doesn't matter. So let's just go ahead and let's make the top circle first. And then we'll worry about where it starts later on. So it has a radius equal to the top radius, right? So that's what we're looking for on this one. We want its radius to be that one. Cool, we've made it. Perfect. Do we want to give it a color? I think we should. So let's go ahead and let's give it a color. Let's set the color next. Top circle. There's the other bell. Don't worry about that. Set color, and I think this is gray. I don't know if you spell gray G-R-E-Y or G-R-A-Y. I've never figured that one out. What's the proper way to spell it? We are oh goodness, I didn't want to do that. We will need to set its position. So top, I think it's top circle set position. Yep, top circle dot set position, and let's give it an X and a Y, right? And let's note that we are going to change this X and the Y in the future, in the future on this code, and they will all have the exact same set position. So actually we can go ahead and set this. We can do this now. Let's finish the circle first. Let's add it first. Let's add the circle. Cool. Let's figure out the X value.
While you're at lunch today,
oh, hold on. That's funny.
Table.
All right, so I'm gonna keep talking while they're talking. So what we need to do is let's go ahead and let's set the X value, right? So let's call it I don't know. Let's just call it X. Middle X. Let's call it that. Let's give it something useful. Variable, middle X. And I might be doing more than I have to, but it's okay. Get width. Right? And that's gonna get the width of the entire frame. And then I want it to start halfway through. So we're gonna do divide by 2 to get it halfway. And that should start it right in the center. Oh, I didn't define a Y yet. So, let's see. Variable Y, this is just what we'll start. Top Y, and they're all gonna have different Y's. So this one will be here, this one will be here, and this one will be here. And let's just give it a random number, just a start. We will change that in the future. Top Y, and let's run that code. And there we go. All right, we have something. It's there. We're gonna have to change it. We'll work with these values later. So then, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go ahead and copy this code and paste it again. We're gonna call it mid circle. Mid circle. Mid circle. Let's add mid circle. It's gonna be gray, and it's not gonna be a top radius. It's gonna be mid radius. And let's give that mid Y. Because it's going to have a different starting position. And it looks like it's going to be either higher or lower. So let's see what happens if we do that. Let's run this code. I forgot to change that. Interesting. So let's change that to 300. See what that changes. So, yep. So this is 0. This is 100. That's 300. So as you see, we get further and further down. And it's going to always have to be related somehow to the height of it, right? So we're going to have to make this all relative somehow in the future. And that's going to be a little bit difficult for us. It's going to take math skills on that one. Who likes to do math? All right, let's go ahead and let's make the bottom circle. So first thing I'm worried about first is just creating the circles and getting them set. And then I'll worry about the math for setting the positions later. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel great about myself that I can just make these circles. And I'm working with, you know, using different functions. Yes, or different objects and setting stuff. Bottom circle. That says bottom radius. We want to do a bottom X. Oh no, that's still mid X. They all have the same middle X value. It's just they have different Y values. So let's go ahead and let's change this and make a Y value. And we are at, I don't know, 350 or something. Cool. All right, so we got the circles, got it made. They all line up. Okay, well, let's go ahead and let's figure it out. I think what we can do is if we set everything to the bottom first, if we figure out how long this is and get the circle to always be at the height of this thing minus its radius, I think that's where we can start. So I think if we do get height, right? And if we minus the bottom radius, I think we can get this thing always to start at the bottom. Yes, yes. Oh man, logic skills are working heavy today. Right, because I want to make this one relative first, and then I'll make all of the rest of these circles based off of this one. Right, so let's think. It's gonna be at, this right here gives us this value. So if we do this value plus this radius plus this radius, or minus the radius, so let's do at bottom Y, at that value right there, minus this radius and minus that radius, minus bottom radius. I'm totally guessing here. Minus, not the bottom, but I just, you know me, I like to not type a lot. Let's see if, what did I do? Oh, you know why? I know exactly why. So this variable has to be defined first, right? And then I'll define the next variable based off of its predecessor. Then we can keep working. Nice, nice. See, I forget some of these little things too. It works. It's fine as long as we recognize it and change it. So now, God, let's do the same thing. Let's find this value, which is going to be, it's going to be very similar to what we did here. Right? It's going to be the value of the middle Y minus, so we're here now. We're going to minus this and then minus that radius. So minus mid radius minus top radius. And then if I run the code, beautiful. Now it lines up. Yeah, wow. That went a lot easier than I remember last time. That's right, that's right. Oh, cool. So there's our code. And it definitely works. We've submitted it, we've continued it, and that's it. That's all of it. I know that's it, right? We're working on, you know what, like 35, 40 minutes at this point. We're somewhere in that realm of time frame. So I hope this video, you know, found you all well. I hope you guys are staying safe out there. It's some crazy times. just to reiterate what we did today, at least in this one, we went over all of these. It looks like we're good. Next one will be 2.6 through 2.10. With a lot more on that one to go through. So that one's going to be a little bit more lengthy of a video. But you know what? We'll get there when we get there, guys. Thank you for chilling. Hit that subscribe button. You know, like it. Stay safe out there.